I want to teach you about this static keyword, which I feel you will use it every now and then, and you should know exactly what it's there for. So this main method right here, public static void main. So this is the entry point of every single Java program. And this has to be static. This cannot be non-static. So if I remove that, you can see that there is no way for us to run this program because it's missing the main method. So what static means? Static means that whether it is a method or a variable, it belongs to the class itself. And usually it is used to have some shared data across all the objects. So right here, let me simply give you this very simple example. So class, and we're going to touch upon classes in a second, but for now, just follow along because I want to make sure you understand this. So class person, and right here, let's simply have a static and then string and then created and then people. And or actually not string, my bad. This will be int and equals to 0. And I also need to have this static keyword here. So this is because I want to use this class directly inside of this static method. So if you're not going to create an instance outside, this has to be static. So here, this variable here tracks the number of people that we create from this class. So right here, let's go ahead and simply have a constructor, and you're going to learn about all of this in a second. But for now, simply say created people and then plus plus. So here, right? So here we are creating a person and then we are incrementing the number of people. So also let's define a string and then name, and here let's simply say string and then name, and this dot name equals to name. So here I'm simply defining a way of creating people. Now let's go ahead and simply say new and then person, and then here we're going to pass Alex, and let's extract this to a variable. So Alex, and let's duplicate this, and here I'm going to say Bob, just like that. And now the cool thing about statics is that this variable right here, it is shared amongst all the objects. So for example, if you want to know how many people we have created so far, we can simply say south instead of you saying, for example, Alex and then dot and created people, right? You can do it, but the better way of doing it is simply say person dot and then created people, because the static is shared across all objects, across Bob and Alex. If I run this, there we have it. You can see that we have 2. Now if I say south and then Alex dot and then name, and then this will be Bob dot name, run this, you can see that each object is independent from itself, but the static value here, so this variable, it is shared across those 2 objects. So that is one way of using statics. Another way is for you to define constants. So here, let's simply say, for example, we want to define a constant. So I can say public and then static and then final and then string, and then here let's simply say, for example, brand, and statics, they should be all uppercase, and then here Amigos code, right? So now if you want to, for example, access this brand right here, you can simply call statistics. So if I was to create, for example, if I was to actually inside of this person class access the brand, I could simply say, for example, here I could say the class name, so or actually not statistics, statics dot and then brand, There we have it. And now I've got access to this branch. So this is this is how you can create constants. And I'm going to remove this from here because I don't need it. And this is pretty much what a static means. So static means that the class or method belongs to a class itself instead of each object. And you're going to learn about objects and classes later so that you can fully grasp this concept. Also with statics, you have this static block right here. So static, and in here, it is used to initialize any static field that you have. For example, here I could simply say brand equals, and then actually define nothing, or actually equals to null. And then here I could simply say brand equals, and then amigos code. And this won't let me because of the final keyword. So if I was to remove the final keyword, there we have it. And also I can remove the null from there, right? So static keyword is more for initializing things. So you could have, for example, a list, and this has to be static. So it doesn't have to be public. It could be package protected or private, but here I can say list, and then here I'm going to say list equals to new, and then array list, and then here I could say list dot, and then add something, right? And you're going to learn about data structures and lists later on. So just bear in mind that with statics, you can have this static block where it is used to initialize static fields, and then the static keyword on a method or a field, right, or a variable here, it means that it belongs to the class and not to the instances themselves. This is all for now. If you have any questions on statics, drop me a message. Otherwise, let's move on.